My initial plan was to do a video about Ajax, until I got a comment on Twitter saying, "Hi, Vizeh, have you seen Lyon recently?" And I said, well, they can't be doing as bad as Ajax. Holy shit, Lyon are in serious trouble. Or as what I learned in my year 8 GCSE or FCSE, Lyon PK, Lyonnais, Esten difficulty. I think I nailed that. Lyon, currently 9 games into their Ligue 1 season, are bottom, dead last, with 3 points. Without a shadow of a doubt, is the worst start to a season I've seen by any major club that I've ever seen, really, and that says a lot considering Ajax are literally second to last. Also, shout out to Basel. I don't know what they're doing over there, but like everyone is falling apart. The reason why I selected Lyon for this video is because, well, they're last, so that makes it even worse, and also they've just lost 2-1 at home to who was then bottom, Clermont Foot. I can't believe they're called Clermont Foot. That's just an incredible name for a football club. We need to be serious here. This is France. They will burn their stadium down if they get relegated. There's no doubts about that. If Lyon gets relegated, they will no longer be a Lyon. I mean, here's one example. When Saint Etienne got relegated a year or two ago, this was their response. And if you thought, oh well, Lyon fans may be different, here's a video of them literally going at their players after a game, after losing, by the way, to PSG. Le message est clair. Vous portez le maillot de l'Olympique Lyonnais. So comment down below your thoughts on Lyon. I felt like I had to do this video because it'd be wrong for me not to. Thank you for the love on the channel. If we can hit 400,000 subscribers by the end of the year, that'd be amazing. About 70% of you guys who watches my recent videos are not subscribed. Honestly, any little help, so if you can help us out, it would mean a lot. Let's try to hit 3,000 likes and code Lyon for 20% off all items on my own design company, mazzoladesigns.co.uk, for the best football prints on the market. And let's get into it. Let's go into why is this so significant in French football and why are we talking about it so much. Olympique Lyonnais, Olympique Lyon, or just Lyon, I don't think they really care which one you use. Olympique Lyonnais is definitely in top 3 biggest clubs in France. You can say second, you can say third. In recent history, between 2001 and 2008, Lyon won 7 consecutive Ligue 1 titles. In the 2019-2020 season, they reached the UEFA Champions League semi-finals, if you may remember, knocking out Manchester City in the process. And what may be quite surprising is that even though they won 7 Ligue 1 titles in a row, that was the only titles that they ever won. Surprisingly, they never actually won any Ligue 1 titles before, however winning 5 Coupe de France's in the process and a UEFA Intertoto Cup, with a massive fan base with some iconic players that you may remember, such as, for example, Karim Benzema, Juninho, Govou, and joined back with their club legend Alexander Lacazette. And entering into this season, there was hope, as Lyon left the field at the Parc des Princes, earning a 1-0 win against Paris Saint-Germain. Laurent Blanc, who was the manager at the time period, was more than a match against the eventual champions in PSG on their own pitch, with an exciting youth product in Bradley Barcola scoring the winning goal. And they ended the year relatively quite well in the last 10 or so games, winning the vast majority of them. And the main problem is when we go and look back on the team that went out against PSG in that game. The main issue is barely any of them are still there. 9 games in and Barcola has left PSG, Blanc has now been sacked, and Lyon now sit bottom after failing to win any league games. And losing to bottom of the table Clermont Foot at home sends them bottom. And it's fair to say that they are not best pleased. We've seen some drop-offs in history of some top clubs, but nothing like this. But this is imagining Chelsea literally 19th, alongside Burnley. This is like Chelsea being battered by Burnley at home. Let's get into the players and the transfer recruitment, because that is the main reason of this. Not the only, but a large reason. Lyon has got a reputation of a consistent production of talented young players. They've got a decent conveyor belt, which means that they've always got some decent young players in the mix to develop into the first team and to be sold for decent value, decent profit. However, in this recent window, simply too many have been allowed out the door, and this has been forced on them due to financial reasons that we'll get into later on. In the summer, the club lost Malo Gusto to Chelsea, a deal that was agreed back in January, Castello Lukeba to RB Leipzig, and Barcola to PSG, and including that, more experienced players like Hassim Aouar and Moussa Dembele also left. A mix of the young talented players coming through that was more ready for this time period, including some experience, led to some demand in the transfer market, in which, when you look at the transfer dealings, it's quite interesting to see who they brought in. They brought in over €100 million into the club, spending 19 in return, and buying some strange players. For example, their most expensive player was Clinton Mate, a 30-year-old right-back from Club Brugge for €5 million. Skelly Alvea, a centre-mid from Sochaux for €4 million. Basically, looking at the list here, they were signing players that typically are not Lyon standard players. However, due to financial restraint put on them due to the board at the club, the new board at the club, their hands were tied behind their backs, signing the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles and a Crystal Palace centre-back, which never played, kind of shows. They also let go of Favre, Thiago Mendes, Toko Ekambi. I mean, the early warning signs were there. I mean, they lost 4 of their friendlies up against Man United, okay, sure. RWDM from Belgium, Celta Vigo and Crystal Palace not even scoring a single goal. If you are a stats-based man, then maybe you would say that, okay, they probably aren't performing this bad, but they are in terms of XG, if you believe in that, or expected points, they are placed 4th last. They have the worst shot conversion rate in the league by 5.4. In comparison, 5th worst is Nice with 8.2. And as I said before, with the incomings and the outgoings, there's a reason why they let go of so many talents and more than what they would actually want, due to the fact that they had some financial issues, as you could very much imagine. Lyon president John Textor needed to raise €130 million in order for the club to not receive a sanction from the DNGC, which is the French football financial watchdog. Lyon didn't qualify for any European competition, which is fateful for a club with this current model. The American ownership of John Textor, when he first joined Lyon only a year ago, back in June 2022, stated obviously his ambition is to target PSG, aim to move the club forwards, and everything has gone behind ever since, and it's only been just over a year of ownership. Speaking to some Lyon fans on Twitter, it's fair to say that Textor is not a popular figure within the club, with a lot of blame being ushered towards his feet, and I can't really deny that he's not having the best of times right now. The DNCG is a massive part of this, and keeping a look at the money that Lyon spends. Back in May 2023, a report from RMC Sport said that Lyon president John Textor needed to raise €130 million in order for the club to not receive a sanction from the DNCG. When Textor took over the club, he showed a business plan, and this was based on yearly qualifications to the UEFA Champions League. And without that qualification, everything falls flat. This means that they lack the financial windfall of the several tens of millions that they get from being in the Champions League. This has forced their hand to sell all these players, which means that because the ownership that took over didn't have a plan B, it means that they've got to hit the panic button on behalf of the financial stability. Then the DNCG will be in their rights to erase sanctions to the club, control the club's wages, a transfer ban, or even worse, a relegation to Ligue 2. Basically what we're seeing here is a club that has been took over by an owner that is not fit and proper and didn't have a plan B whatsoever in any scenario, as he thought Liga and qualifying in the Champions League was a given, which of course nothing is guaranteed in football. I do need to also insist that Textor is the main root to these problems, as he's not got a good reputation, as he is a fan of this multi-club model. For example, he has links with Crystal Palace, with Brazilian side Botafogo and Belgian side RWD Molenbeek. And if you noticed, quite a few players that came to Lyon came from these clubs, with Crystal Palace fans coming out saying that they want nothing to do with him. So how do Lyon get out of this current situation? It may have to be one of their main old guards, and that is Lacazette. After returning back to the club, he picked up where he left off, scoring 27 goals in 35 Ligue 1 appearances, with no other player scoring more than 6. In fact, of the 8 players who scored more than once in the league for Lyon, only 3 now remain at the club. The obvious talent in Rayan Cherki, I think that's how you say his name, I'm so sorry, has yet to register a single goal or assist in first 9 games, with last year having 10 goal involvements. Despite him being a player which has got a lot of talent and clubs all wanting at one stage, he was subbed off this weekend against Clermont Foot at half time when they were already 2-0 down, which seems like a chaos to me. Do I think Lyon will go down? No, I don't think. I refuse to believe that's possible. However, if they do go down, then best believe they will burn the club to the ground. That's all I need to say. See ya.